You are winning battles, but you are losing the war. This is the silent truth for many of the most successful and hardworking people in our society. You are incredibly good at the immediate game. You answer emails with lightning speed. You crush your daily to-do lists. You expertly handle the crisis of the hour. You win the meeting, you win the argument, you win the day. But if you are honest with yourself, when you look up from the battlefield of your daily life, you may find that you are exhausted, spread thin, and no closer to the meaningful, fulfilling life you truly want. You are a brilliant tactician in a war without a strategy. We live in a culture that worships tactics. We are obsessed with life hacks, productivity tips, and morning routines. We believe that if we can just optimize every single minute of our day, we will somehow achieve success and peace. But this is a dangerous illusion. Mastering the small details while losing sight of the big picture is the most common form of modern failure. It leads to burnout, a sense of purposelessness, and the quiet desperation of feeling busy but not productive. There is another way. An ancient operating system for the mind, practiced not by productivity gurus but by emperors, warriors, and leaders who understood that power is not found in frantic activity but in strategic clarity. This is the wisdom of the Stoics and thinkers like the legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi, who both understood a fundamental truth. You cannot master your life until you master yourself. Today, we are not going to give you more tactics. We are going to give you a strategy. We will explore the essential Stoic knowledge required to stop being a soldier fighting in the trenches and start becoming the commander who sees the entire battlefield. This is your guide to mastering the big picture. 1. The view from the citadel. The discipline of perspective. A soldier in a trench can only see the mud and the enemy directly in front of him. His world is one of chaos, reaction, and immediate survival. A commander on a hilltop sees the entire landscape. He sees the enemy's movements. He sees the terrain. He sees the opportunities and threats that the soldier in the trench cannot possibly perceive. To master the big picture, you must first learn to get out of the trenches of your daily life and ascend to the view from the citadel. This is the Stoic practice of elevating your perspective. Your daily frustrations, your immediate anxieties, your urgent tasks, these are the mud of the trenches. They feel all-consuming because you are too close to them. The discipline is to regularly and intentionally pull your awareness back to see the larger map. The problem: you get a critical email from your boss, and it consumes your entire afternoon with anxiety. This is a trench-level view. The commander's view. From the citadel, you see that this email is one tiny data point in a multi-year career. It is a single battle, not the entire war. You see that your long-term relationship with your boss, your overall performance, and your future goals are far more significant. From this perspective, the email shrinks to its proper size, and you can respond to it strategically, not emotionally. This is not about ignoring problems. It is about seeing them in their true context. The commander still cares about the soldier in the trench, but he is not defined by the soldier's immediate struggle. He sees the larger strategic reality. By practicing this shift in perspective, you stop being a victim of your daily circumstances and start becoming the calm strategist of your life. This elevated view is the foundation of all clear thinking. 2. The way of the sword, the discipline of the essential. The legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi wrote, "The primary thing when you take a sword in your hands is your intention to cut the enemy, whatever the means. Every other fancy move, every complex theory, every distraction is secondary to that one essential purpose. A master swordsman does not waste energy on useless flourishes. Every movement is precise, efficient, and serves the primary goal." This is a powerful metaphor for mastering the big picture. Our modern lives are filled with useless flourishes. We are drowning in a sea of non-essential tasks, trivial meetings, distracting notifications, and other people's priorities. We spend our days swinging our sword wildly at 1,000 different targets, exhausting our energy without ever landing a decisive blow. The Stoic discipline of the essential is about identifying your one cut and focusing your energy there. It is the ruthless art of saying no. Identify the non-essential. Look at your to-do list, your calendar, your commitments. You must become a ruthless editor of your own life. Ask of every task, is this truly essential to winning the war, or is it just a distraction? You will likely find that 80% of your activity is low-impact noise. Focus on the high-impact 20%. Your goal is to identify the few vital tasks that will create the most progress toward your long-term goals. This could be one deep work session on your most important project, one difficult conversation you've been avoiding, or 1 hour spent learning a critical new skill. This is your one cut. Protect your focus. Once you know what is essential, you must protect your ability to execute it. This means turning off your phone, closing the unnecessary browser tabs, and declining the meeting that doesn't have a clear agenda. A master of the big picture is not the person who does the most things. They are the person who does the most important things. They understand that their time and energy are their most valuable strategic assets, and they refuse to waste them on the trivial. 3. The unattached mind, the discipline of emotional detachment. Musashi spoke of the need for a mind that is void or empty, not in the sense of being unintelligent, but in the sense of being free from clutter, ego, and emotional turbulence. This state of mind allows the swordsman to see reality exactly as it is and react with perfect clarity and timing. This is perfectly aligned with the Stoic ideal of the disciplined mind. The biggest obstacle to seeing the big picture clearly is your own emotional attachment to outcomes. When you are attached to success, you become afraid of failure, which makes you timid and unwilling to take necessary risks. When you are attached to being right, you stop listening to feedback and close your mind to new information, which leads to strategic blind spots. When you are attached to the approval of others, you make decisions designed to please them, rather than decisions designed to achieve your objective. The discipline of the unattached mind is the practice of separating your actions from the results. Your job is to focus with absolute intensity on performing the action to the best of your ability. The result of that action, whether you get the promotion, whether the project succeeds, whether people approve, is ultimately outside your direct control. You must train yourself to place your pride and satisfaction in your effort, not in the outcome. When you do this, you become free. A failure is no longer a devastating blow to your ego. It is simply a data point to learn from. A success is no longer a source of arrogance. It is simply a confirmation that your strategy is working. By detaching your emotions from the unpredictable results, your mind becomes calm, clear, and objective. You become a strategist who can see the board as it truly is, not as you wish it to be. 4. The master's timing, the discipline of strategic patience. In a duel, timing is everything. A premature attack can leave you exposed, while a hesitant defense can be fatal. Musashi understood that mastery requires not just knowing what to do, but when to do it. Our modern culture, however, worships speed above all else. We want everything now. Instant success, instant results, instant gratification. This addiction to urgency is a strategic disaster. It leads to rushed decisions, sloppy execution, and burnout. The Stoics were masters of a different kind of timing. They understood that there is a time for bold, decisive action, and there is a time for patient, deliberate waiting. Mastering the big picture requires you to master this rhythm. The discipline of preparation. Many of our urgent problems are the result of a failure to prepare. The disciplined mind anticipates future challenges and slowly, methodically builds the skills, resources, and plans needed to meet them. This slow, unglamorous work of preparation is what allows for swift, decisive action when the time is right. The discipline of the ripe moment. A master strategist knows that some problems are not ready to be solved. Sometimes, you need to let a situation unfold, gather more information, or allow other players to reveal their hands. Rushing in with a solution can be counterproductive. The discipline is to wait for the ripe moment, when your action will have the maximum impact with the minimum effort. The discipline of persistence. True strategic patience is not passive waiting, it is active persistence. It is the understanding that meaningful goals are not achieved in days or weeks, but in months and years. It is the ability to show up every day and lay one more brick on the wall, trusting that your consistent, daily effort will eventually build a cathedral. The person who can act with both explosive speed and profound patience is the one who truly commands the battlefield. A practical exercise: the commander's weekly briefing. To move from being a soldier to a commander, you must create a regular strategic briefing for yourself. This exercise is designed to force you to ascend to the view from the citadel at least once a week. The drill: schedule 30 minutes in your calendar at the same time every week, e.g., Sunday evening. This is your non-negotiable commander's briefing. The instructions. During this time, you will answer 3 questions in a journal. What is the war I am trying to win? This is your big picture goal. It is not about your to-do list for the week. It's about your major objective for the next 3 to 6 months. E.g., the war is to successfully transition into a new career in data science. Or, the war is to launch my small business. What is the single most important battle to win this week to make progress in that war? This forces you to identify the essential. Out of all the things you could do, what is the one thing you must do? The most important battle is to finish the final project for my certification course. Who or what are the primary enemies of my focus this week, and what is my plan to defeat them? This is where you anticipate distractions and plan your defense. E.g., the enemy is my habit of mindless social media scrolling. My plan is to use an app to block those sites during my scheduled work blocks. The purpose. This weekly ritual forces you to lift your head up from the daily trenches. Think strategically, prioritize ruthlessly, and act with intention. It is the single most effective exercise for shifting from a tactical mindset to a strategic one. The lesson learned: your call to action. The ultimate lesson is this: mastering your life is not about controlling every external event. That is impossible. It is about mastering the one thing you can control: yourself. It is about building an internal operating system based on clarity, discipline, and strategic thought. When you master your inner world, you gain a form of power that allows you to navigate the outer world with grace, effectiveness, and an unshakable sense of peace. You stop being a reactor to chaos and become a creator of your own order. Your training as a commander begins now. It begins not with a grand campaign, but with your first strategic briefing. Your challenge is simple. Schedule your first Commander's Weekly Briefing in your calendar right now. Don't just think about it. Open your calendar and block out 30 minutes. To commit to this first act of strategic discipline, go to the comments below and write a simple declaration. Briefing scheduled. This is a commitment to yourself, a promise to start leading your life, not just living it. If this guide has provided you with a clear strategy, a like helps it reach other aspiring commanders. And to continue receiving these practical frameworks for the mind, consider subscribing. The battlefield awaits. It's time to take command.